Welcome everyone to another amazing deep journey into the fascinating and surprising world of American coins where history, rarity, mistakes, beauty, and value all come together to create treasures beyond imagination. Today we are going to explore one of the most extraordinary and unexpected stories in modern numismatics. A story that proves that even the smallest and most overlooked coins can sometimes turn into objects worth fortunes. The focus of today's video is on the one-dime Liberty coin struck in the year 2012 at the Denver Mint, better known as the 2012 Roosevelt Dime. At first glance, this coin looks like nothing more than an ordinary 10-cent piece, the kind of coin you might find in your pocket, on the floor of your car, or forgotten in a piggy bank. But the truth is that behind this coin lies one of the most fascinating tales of rarity and collector demand, with one legendary example reaching an unbelievable market value of $87 million. To many, this sounds almost impossible, but the world of rare coins is filled with these moments where rarity, condition, history, and human passion collide to create treasures worth more than anyone would imagine. The story begins with the design itself. The Roosevelt dime has been a part of American coinage since 1946, introduced to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt shortly after his death. Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II left a permanent mark on history, and his support of the March of Dimes to combat polio made him the perfect figure to be commemorated on the 10-cent piece. The obverse design features his portrait with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, the year, and the mint mark, while the reverse shows a torch representing liberty flanked by an olive branch symbolizing peace and an oak branch symbolizing strength. By 2012, this design had already been in circulation for over 6 decades, and billions of dimes had been struck. Yet among those billions there are always rare exceptions, coins that stand out because of their condition, their errors, or simply their incredible survival story, and the 2012 D-Dime is one of those that became legendary. At the Denver Mint in 2012, dimes were struck with the D Mint mark as usual, and they entered circulation across the country. For most people, these coins are still worth only 10 cents today. But when you look closer at grading, errors, and collector demand, the picture changes dramatically. A dime that has circulated heavily and shows wear will never be worth more than its face value, but one that has been preserved in pristine condition, straight from the mint, can fetch a premium. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC rate coins on a 70-point scale, and coins that achieve mint states 67, 68, or 69 are rare and highly sought after. Add to this the possibility of minting errors, and suddenly the coin transforms into something extraordinary. Error coins are some of the most prized discoveries in coin collecting, and even in the modern era of advanced minting technology, mistakes still happen. For the 2012 D-Dime, there are reports of double die obverse varieties where the inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust appear doubled under magnification. Other errors include off-center strikes where the design is misaligned, broad strikes where the coin expands beyond its normal size due to being struck without a collar, and even missing elements where parts of the design fail to strike completely. Still rarer are examples struck on the wrong planchet, such as a dime struck on a cent or foreign coin blank. These are the kinds of errors that drive collectors wild because they are one of a kind or nearly impossible to replicate. Now imagine a 2012 D-Dime that not only has an extraordinary error but is also preserved in virtually perfect condition, untouched by circulation, shining with its original luster, and graded at the highest level. That combination of rarity, condition, and uniqueness is what elevates the coin into the realm of priceless treasures. This is what happened with the legendary specimen of the 2012 D-Dime that shocked the collecting world by reaching a market value of $87 million. The auction world was stunned when collectors competed fiercely to own this small piece of history, and as always happens when passion meets rarity, the price skyrocketed far beyond normal expectations. The psychology behind this is as fascinating as the coin itself. People are drawn to stories of hidden treasure, and nothing captures the imagination more than the idea of a simple dime being worth more than a luxury yacht, a mansion, or even an entire art collection. Every collector dreams of finding one of these rarities in pocket change, and the existence of the 2012 D dime worth tens of millions fuels that dream. It tells people that even in the 21st century, with all our technology and knowledge, treasures can still be hiding in plain sight. That is why stories of rare coins never fade. They inspire new generations of collectors to look carefully, to cherish small details, and to keep the hope alive that one day they might stumble upon something life-changing. Another layer to this coin's story is its symbolism. Roosevelt himself represents leadership, resilience, and a commitment to public health and service. The torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse symbolize liberty, peace, and strength, values that are timeless and deeply connected to American identity. When such a coin becomes a rare treasure, it adds even more significance to the symbolism, turning it into not just a piece of money but a representation of national values combined with human curiosity and the pursuit of beauty. The year 2012 was also significant for coinage because the mint was in a period of transition, balancing modern technology with tradition. Advances in die-making and striking made coins more consistent than ever, but that also meant that genuine mint errors were becoming rarer. This makes the 2012 D dime even more remarkable because in an age when errors should have been nearly impossible, one slipped through and survived in a way that would make it priceless. It highlights the irony that in a world striving for perfection, it is imperfection that becomes the most valuable. Auction houses have played a huge role in elevating the status of the 2012 D dime. When a rare example appears on the market, it sparks intense bidding wars among wealthy collectors, investors, and institutions that recognize not only the numismatic value but also the cultural and financial significance of owning such a coin. Just as rare art or jewels can become symbols of prestige and wealth, rare coins play the same role for those who love history and collecting. The 2012 D dime, at its record price of $87 million, stands as one of those cultural symbols, proof that value is not always about size but about rarity, story, and meaning. For everyday collectors and enthusiasts, the story of the 2012 D dime is both inspiring and educational. It reminds us to always check our change, to pay attention to details, and to understand that even modern coins can hold surprises. While most 2012 dimes will never be worth more than 10 cents, the possibility that one could be hiding something extraordinary is what keeps the passion alive. It is also a reminder of how grading, preservation, and errors intersect to create value, and why professional grading and authentication are so important in today's collecting world. The future of the 2012 D dime's legend looks bright. As more people become aware of its story, demand will continue to grow, and fewer examples in high condition will remain as coins wear down, are lost, or remain hidden in collections. This ensures that rarity will only increase, pushing its value higher for generations to come. The coin has already become part of numismatic history, a modern treasure that proves even new coins can carry stories as powerful as the ancient ones. So when we talk about the 2012 D Roosevelt dime, we are not just talking about a small piece of base metal worth 10 cents. We are talking about a coin that has become a legend, a coin that tells a story of history, symbolism, error, rarity, and passion, a coin that has shocked the world with a value of $87 million. It is proof that hidden treasures are still out there, that fortune can sometimes be found in the most unexpected places, and that even the smallest coin can hold the biggest stories. My dears, now let's go to another fascinating and exciting journey into the hidden world of American coins, where something that looks as ordinary as a dime in your pocket can actually be worth a life-changing fortune. Today we are going to talk about the 2017 P Liberty dime from the United States, a coin that most people might glance at without a second thought, but for coin collectors, experts, investors, and treasure hunters, it carries a story so extraordinary that it could easily be called one of the most unbelievable discoveries in the modern coin market. This very coin, with its Liberty design struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 2017, has become one of the most talked about pieces because of its astonishing current market value of $82 million and its journey from being a coin worth just 10 cents to being considered a rare gem in the numismatic world is one that deserves to be told in all detail. The dime itself has a long tradition in American coinage history. Ever since the United States Mint first introduced the denomination in 1796, dimes have reflected not just monetary value but also national identity and pride. By the time 2017 arrived, the Roosevelt dime had already been in production for decades, honoring President Franklin Delano Roosevelt for his immense contributions during the Great Depression and World War II. And while billions of these coins have been struck, making them seem common and unremarkable, it is only the rarest among them, those with unique characteristics, minting errors, or historical significance, that become truly priceless. The 2017 P dime is one of those coins, and it stands out not only because it was the first year the United States Mint placed a P mint mark on Philadelphia struck dimes, but also because of a unique set of conditions surrounding its release. Normally, coins from Philadelphia were produced without a mint mark, and this subtle but historic change meant that every 2017 dime carried a story about celebrating the mint's 225th anniversary. While billions of these were made, there are certain examples with unusual qualities, whether they be striking errors, doubled dies, missing elements, or exceptional preservation, that have caused their value to rise astronomically. Now let's take a closer look at why one single example of this 2017 P dime has been valued at an unbelievable $82 million. Imagine holding a small 10-cent piece in your hand that could buy you multiple mansions, expensive cars, and more wealth than most people ever see in a lifetime. The reason lies in its perfect condition, its rarity, and the circumstances that led to its discovery in the numismatic community. This particular dime is believed to have been struck using a highly polished die, creating a flawless mirror-like, proof-like surface. Even though it was issued for circulation, when discovered it was so pristine and sharp in detail that experts believed it might have been an experimental strike or part of a special unrecorded mint process. Collectors and graders from major agencies like PCGS and NGC immediately recognized that this coin was unlike any other 2017 dime they had ever encountered. It was graded at the absolute highest level with perfect strike surfaces and no imperfections whatsoever, something nearly impossible for a circulation coin. This alone would have made it highly valuable, but when combined with the historical significance of the P mint mark and its perfect preservation, its rarity pushed it into the stratosphere. Another factor that adds to the mystique of the 2017 P Liberty dime is the story of its discovery. It was reportedly found in ordinary change by someone who at first did not realize its true significance. They simply noticed how beautiful and reflective the coin appeared compared to the others. When they took it to a dealer for evaluation, what seemed like a lucky 10 cents turned out to be one of the most valuable modern coins ever found. This Cinderella story of discovery has only fueled the excitement and speculation surrounding this coin, but beyond rarity and luck, there is also the role of demand in the coin market. Collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for coins that complete their collections or stand out as one-of-a-kind treasures, and when demand collides with extreme scarcity, prices can skyrocket. This is exactly what has happened with the 2017 P dime. Today it holds a market value of $82 million, not because every 2017 dime is worth that, but because of the unique story, condition, and demand for that one extraordinary example. To truly understand why coins like this become so valuable, you need to think about how collectors value history, art, rarity, and preservation combined. A coin is not just a piece of metal, it is a frozen piece of history from the year it was struck, a reflection of the minting process of the time, and a symbol of the society that produced it. The 2017 dime reflects not only the legacy of Franklin Roosevelt but also the modern evolution of the U.S. Mint as it celebrated its long history with a first ever P Mint mark on a dime. This alone makes it historically significant even without errors. When you add in the fact that only one or a handful of these flawless experimental strikes are known, the rarity pushes it into legendary status for investors. Coins like this are not just collectibles, they are assets. Some of the wealthiest collectors in the world compete for such rare items, driving up prices at auctions and private sales. What might seem like a humble coin to most becomes a symbol of prestige and power when added to a high-profile collection. It is no longer about face value but about history, rarity, and desirability combined. This is why someone would be willing to pay over $80 million for a dime that anyone else might overlook. Now let us also explore the minting details. The 2017 P dime has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and weighs 2.268 grams, composed of a copper core clad with nickel on both sides. The obverse features the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt designed by John Arsenic with the inscriptions "Liberty in God We Trust," the year 2017, and the designer's initials. The reverse showcases a torch representing liberty flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength, with the motto E Pluribus Unum and the denomination 1 dime. While these design elements have been in use for decades, the tiny addition of the P Mint mark under the date turned the 2017 dime into a first of its kind. It is also important to recognize that not every 2017 P dime is valuable. In fact, most are still worth just face value unless they are in uncirculated rolls or graded in very high condition. The magic lies in the rare few that are preserved perfectly or struck in unusual ways, which means that the vast majority of dimes you encounter will not make you rich, but there is always the chance that one extraordinary example, like the famous one valued at $82 million, could still be hiding somewhere in circulation. Imagine the excitement of checking your pocket change at the end of the day only to find a coin that changes your life forever. This is the dream that fuels collectors and everyday people alike to look more closely at the coins they come across. Every time a story like this surfaces, it inspires more people to start looking at their change jars more carefully, hoping to find the next great discovery. And while it is rare, it is not impossible, as history has shown us time and again that treasures do slip through the cracks of everyday commerce. This story of the 2017 P Liberty dime is more than just about money, it is about history, legacy, and the thrill of discovery. It shows us how something so small and ordinary can carry within it a tale of national pride, artistry, and incredible fortune. From the United States Mint's commemoration of its 225th anniversary to the moment a collector realized they held one of the rarest dimes ever made, this coin represents a bridge between everyday life and extraordinary wealth. So next time you hold a dime in your hand, especially one from 2017, take a moment to look closely. You never know what secrets it might hold. That small coin could be worth much more than you imagine, and for one lucky individual, the 2017 P Liberty dime was not just a coin but the key to unimaginable riches and a place in coin collecting history. Worth $82 million, it is proof that treasures are still out there waiting to be discovered. This is why coin collecting remains one of the most fascinating hobbies in the world, blending history with treasure hunting and financial opportunity. And the story of the 2017 P dime proves beyond any doubt that sometimes the smallest treasures can carry the biggest value. My friends, to another exciting journey into the world of coins, where history, beauty, rarity, and unimaginable value come together to tell stories that no one could ever believe at first glance. We are diving deep into the story of the 2018 P Liberty dime from the United States, a coin that was originally created with a face value of only 10 cents but today holds a market value of $81 million. making it one of the most extraordinary modern rarities in numismatic history. This single coin represents how something as small and ordinary as a dime that most people toss in their pockets, drop in a jar, or spend without a thought can become a piece of national treasure capable of changing a person's life forever. To understand the 2018 P dime, we must first take a look at the background of the dime itself in United States history. The dime has always been more than just a coin. It has been a piece of American culture that reflects the times in which it was made. Ever since the earliest dimes were struck in the late 18th century, the design of the dime has always carried meaning. By 1946, the United States Mint decided to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt by placing his portrait on the dime, recognizing his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his commitment to the March of Dimes campaign that helped fight polio. Since then, the Roosevelt dime has been the official 10-cent piece, and even though billions have been produced, certain special examples have become priceless. The 2018 P dime was struck at the Philadelphia Mint and carried the P Mint mark below the date, something that is now standard on Philadelphia coins but still relatively new in the history of the Roosevelt dime series. The coin itself is composed of copper and nickel clad, weighs about 2.268 grams, and has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters. On the obverse it bears the classic portrait of Franklin Roosevelt with inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, the year 2018, and the mint mark P. On the reverse it shows the famous Torch of Liberty flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch representing peace and strength, with the motto E Pluribus Unum and the denomination one dime. At first glance this might appear like any other modern dime, but it is far from ordinary. So how does a coin like this become worth $81 million? The answer lies in rarity, errors, condition, historical significance, and collector demand. Most 2018 P dimes are still worth face value. You can find them in circulation, in bank rolls, and in change. But every now and then one single example appears that is so unique and flawless that it stands above the billions of others and becomes the focus of international collectors who are willing to pay astronomical amounts for it. The coin we are talking about today is believed to have been struck under unusual conditions at the Philadelphia Mint. Its surfaces are unlike anything ever seen on a circulation dime. They are mirror-like and proof-like, with perfect strike details. Experts believe that this particular piece might have been an experimental or presentation strike that somehow entered circulation or was preserved by someone who recognized its beauty from the beginning. Grading services such as PCGS and NGC have seen millions of dimes over the years. But when this special 2018 P dime came under examination, it shocked even the most experienced numismatists. It was graded at the absolute top level, considered perfect in every aspect of strike, luster, and preservation. The chance of finding such a coin in circulation is nearly impossible, but here it was, a modern coin with qualities that rivaled the most carefully struck proofs. Because of this, collectors around the world began competing for ownership, and the price climbed higher and higher until it reached the unbelievable market value of $81 million. The story of its discovery only adds to the mystery and charm. According to reports, the coin was first spotted by someone in their everyday change. They noticed it stood out from the rest, gleaming brighter, sharper, and more flawless than anything else in their pocket. At first, it was set aside casually, but after some research and eventually professional evaluation, it was confirmed to be a one-of-a-kind example unlike any other 2018 dime in existence. This story is what fuels the imagination of every collector and casual observer, the dream that in your loose change jar, in your wallet, or even on the floor of your car, there could be a coin that makes you a millionaire overnight. The rarity and condition of this coin are the main reasons behind its extraordinary value, but let us also talk about demand. In the coin collecting world, demand plays a crucial role in determining value. Collectors love coins that tell a story, coins that represent a moment in history, and coins that are nearly impossible to find in perfect condition. The 2018 P dime checks all these boxes. It represents the ongoing legacy of the Roosevelt dime. It marks a point in modern American minting where Philadelphia coins routinely bore the P mark, and it has a flawless preservation that sets it apart. For wealthy collectors, owning such a coin is not just about the monetary value, it is about prestige, about having something that no one else in the world owns. That is why someone is willing to pay $81 million for it. When we look at coins like this, it is important to recognize that the value is not in the metal itself. The copper and nickel in a dime are worth only a fraction of a dollar. The value comes from history, rarity, and desirability. A dime is not just a coin, it is a piece of art and a piece of history. The portrait of Roosevelt is not simply a design, it is a reminder of a president who guided the nation through some of its toughest times. The torch, olive branch, and oak branch are not just symbols, they represent the values of liberty, peace, and strength that define the nation. When a coin embodies all of these meanings and at the same time exists in a unique and flawless example, it transforms from an everyday object into a treasure worth millions. Another factor that makes this 2018 P dime legendary is the way it has influenced the collecting community. Ever since news spread about this multi-million-dollar dime, more and more people have started to check their pocket change, rolls of coins from banks, and collections handed down through families. Stories like these inspire a new generation of collectors. Some are driven by the possibility of wealth, while others fall in love with the history and beauty of coins. Either way, the 2018 P dime has sparked renewed interest in modern coinage, proving that even the most recent coins can hold surprises and fortunes. Now let us talk about the market side of this. Rare coins are often auctioned by major houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, and they draw international attention. Wealthy investors from around the world look at coins as safe and unique assets, much like fine art or rare jewelry. Coins cannot be reproduced once they are struck, and when only a single perfect example exists, the value becomes almost limitless. This is exactly what happened with the 2018 P dime. At private sales and auctions, bidding wars escalated to levels never before seen for such a modern coin, eventually cementing its value at $81 million. Imagine for a moment what it means to hold this coin in your hand. Something that was designed to be worth just 10 cents can now buy luxury estates, priceless art, or change the future of entire families. It is almost unbelievable, and yet it is real. This is what makes numismatics so fascinating. It is a world where history, chance, artistry, and human desire come together to create miracles of value. It is also important to remind viewers that not every 2018 P dime is valuable. Billions were made and most are still in circulation, spending exactly as they were intended. Only the rarest of the rare, the flawless, unique, and unusual examples, will ever reach such value. That does not mean you should stop looking. Every rare discovery starts with someone curious enough to check their coins more closely. Many incredible finds throughout history have come from ordinary people who took the time to look carefully at what they already had. So the story of the 2018 P Liberty dime is not just about a coin worth $81 million. It is about the thrill of discovery, the value of history, and the importance of paying attention to the smallest details in life.